Hey guys, welcome back to the Decon Detailing YouTube channel. On today's video, we're going to be discussing polishing pads and polishing in general. So what I have on the table here today is a variety of different polishing pads, everything ranging from a microfiber cutting pad to a foam finishing pad. So what I'm going to do is just walk you through the different products that I use, the different uses for each of the pads, and then also going to talk about what the purpose of polishing is. So the purpose, just to begin with, the purpose of polishing is to be able to remove light oxidation, swirls, scratches, and paint defects from your car's exterior paint to give it a better reflection and better shine. Usually when you get a car, there's, even if it's brand new from the dealership, there's going to be fine scratches and swirls in the paint that you might not be able to see with your naked eye, but if you look with a inspection light, or just if you get in the sun in the right direction, you'll be able to notice those fine swirls and scratches. And what you do is you polish the paint in order to remove those. On modern vehicles, you have something called clear coat. So car paint is a base coat which has the color, and then they put a clear coat, which is an extremely hard clear paint on top of that color coat to help protect it from fading and oxidation. So that clear coat has UV inhibitors in it, and that is what you are polishing. So you're basically removing on a microscopic level a little bit of that clear coat when you do polishing and compounding stages. Depending on the level of correction that is needed for your paint, you use different polishing pads. So the first one we're going to talk about is a microfiber pad. So this right here, if the camera will focus, is a microfiber cutting pad from Lake Country. So if you can see, it has a foam backing with a Velcro interface, and then it's got these finger-like fibers. Now what this is really good for is cutting a lot of the major defects out of the paint. So if your paint is really trashed and there's a lot of swirls and a lot of deep scratches, you'll begin with this, with a compound, something like, you know, the Rupes high performance compound, or you can go even heavier with the Koch Chemie heavy cut. This is a cutting compound with a lot of good grit and abrasive to it to really cut through that clear coat and even out that finish. Now this will make quick work of really deep scratches. The only downside to using the microfiber cutting pad is it usually leaves a type of haze, so it'll mar the surface just a little bit, but it will at least get rid of the major defects, and then all you have to do is just follow up with a fine polish to remove that haze and bring out all the gloss and depth to the color of the paint. So they make these in a 5-inch, 6-inch version, and they also make these little 3-inch versions for your polishers. Now the 5-inch, I use it on my Maxshine M15 Pro 2. It's got an interface loop. You kind of just hook it onto it, and then it spins on the surface, cutting away the paint, clearing and leveling off that surface. And then the 3-inch pad is good to use on this little 3-inch polisher. So you see the hook and loop backing on this is a lot smaller, meant for this. So this is good for really polishing out those intricate areas, mainly the curves of paint, because dual action polishers will stall out on curves. So usually use like smaller polishers to get around the curves, little intricate areas of the paint that a typical 5-inch polisher won't really get to. It'll stall out and you won't get any correction out of that polisher or that polish or pad. And like I said, there's all different kinds of polishing pads. I just picked up these. These are the Meguiar's 3-inch cutting discs. I picked them up from my local detail shop just to give it a try. And then moving on, we have the most amount of cut that you'll get out of a foam pad. This is the Rupes Blue Coarse foam pad. It is a open cell foam pad. It's really dense, kind of hard. If you can see on here, if it will focus. So it's really dense. It doesn't have a whole lot of give to it. Now what that is going to do is work really well with a compound. And when you're finishing out cutting the paint, this will cut through really quickly, and it's most used with the Rupes DA coarse polish, or DA coarse compound, and this is their new pads. You can tell the new pads from the old pads because it has this beveled edge to it. It'll focus. It has this beveled edge where it kind of flares out a little bit, whereas the normal pad or the original pad is just a straight line going straight down. So this is their new improved pads. I just recently used this on a really oxidized Jeep that you might have seen on the Instagram page. So this cut through that oxidation really quickly. It did leave a little bit of a haze, so we followed that up with a fine polish, which we'll move on to next. And just like the microfiber pads, these also come in little 3-inch pads, and they also come in 2 and 1-inch pads. So once you cut the paint, you usually have a haze left over. So now you'll go into the polishing stage, and that polish is going to really clear up any minor imperfections that you left with the cutting stage. It'll clear up any of that haze and really bring out the gloss and depth of the paint. So what we have next is those polishing pads. So here we have the yellow Rupes foam pad. This is a foam pad by Rupes. Similar to the blue one, but this one is a little bit squishier, has a less dense foam interface and less dense foam structure. So this is really good for, like I said, removing that DA haze and really bringing out the gloss and depth. I like to traditionally use this with a one-step polish, such as Rupes Uno Protect, which we have over here. I'm gonna knock over a bunch of stuff. So I like to use this with this. So Rupes Uno Protect is a all-in-one polish, meaning that it has a wax and a sealant bait built into it. It has a good amount of cut, and it's cut dependent, so depending on the type of pad you use, you'll get less cut or more cut. I like to use this when I'm mobile detailing because it helps me get a good amount of gloss out of the paint. Helps fill in a little bit of scratching, but what I really like about it is it leaves that wax and sealant behind, so it leaves a little bit of protection. So you can polish and protect all in one step. And I like to pair that with the Rupes yellow polishing pad. Now, if you're polishing the paint and you realize that you need just a little bit more cut out of your polishing pad, they do make wool polishing pad. So this is a medium polishing pad. You can see on here, just like what you're probably used to seeing, this has the wool interface. The benefit to using the wool is it cuts really good, but it also runs cool. So it helps keep the temperature down on the paint when you're cutting, when you're polishing. So if you just need a little bit more of a cut out of your polishing pad, this is a good second choice. You can also use this with the Rupes Uno Protect if you're trying to get the most amount of cut, and you want a good finishing pad also. This finishes down really well with the Rupes Uno Protect or a polish. And it's also clear coat dependent. So some clear coats are harder, meaning that the scratches are harder to remove out of them, and some are softer. So this might be too aggressive for a soft clear coat, but just right for a hard clear coat. So really what you would want to make sure you do is a test spot, make sure that you're getting the most amount of cut with a good finishing down, to make sure that you're not removing too much clear coat, but you're getting just enough removed where it's enhancing the gloss and preserving the paint. And also, when you're using the yellow foam polishing pad, you pair it with the Rupes DA High Performance Polishing Liquid. This has a really good working time for it. It gives a great amount of cut and has good gloss capability. So you put the yellow with the yellow, blue with blue. It's kind of a color-coded system, makes it really simple to use, and it's really user-friendly. Has really long working time, so you can keep using it even out in the sun for a longer time than a traditional polishing liquid is. So this is just a really good combination. After you've done the polishing stage, traditionally you're good to go there. You can stop right there. However, if you're looking to get as much gloss and depth out of the color of the paint, you can move on to a jeweling stage or our ultra finishing stage. So Rupes makes their ultra fine white pad. These are super soft foam pads. I'll give you a close up. Like I said, this is their new pad with a bevel design. Feel focus. There we go. So this is their white foam, really squishy. It's really good on soft clear coat because it helps finish down really well. And you would pair this with either their, I don't have it here, but their Uno Pure, which is their ultra-fine finishing polish, or just a finishing polish of your choice. They make these in the 3-inch version as well. And like I said, what this is really good for is just getting as much gloss as you want out of the paint. It doesn't have a whole lot of cut to it, but it helps bring out all the gloss in the paint that's possible. So this is your finishing stage for polishing. Now there are also other different types of polishing pads or ultra finishing jeweling pads that you can get. CarPro makes their gloss enhancing pad or their gloss pad. So this is a really stiff backing to it, but it has a super soft foam interface to it. And usually what you pair this with is their CarPro Essence, which is over here. So you would pair this with CarPro Essence. Now this is their primer for ceramic coatings. So you would use this as a jeweling polish, get all the gloss out. And what this does is it leaves a minor layer of ceramic protection that helps build a foundation for their C-quartz coatings. So you would use this when you're using their type of product. So use this gloss pad with CarPro Essence, get all the gloss, and prepare for a ceramic coating. So when you use the Rupes white ultra fine polishing pad, you pair it with their polish. So this is their diamond ultra fine polishing liquid. Use both these together. Like I said, this has barely any cut to it. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is probably like a 1 on cut, but it brings out as much gloss as possible for the paint. So this is what you would use in a 3-step correction. So cutting, polishing, ultra finishing, or jeweling prior to either applying a wax sealant or if you're, like I said, if you're really going for it, the ceramic coating. Now we're going to go down to the least aggressive pad possible. It has absolutely no cut to it, but it's good for applying sealants and waxes. So what we have here is a black foam pad, and this is a waxing pad. So what you do is you put a liquid wax onto the surface of this and spread it out evenly on the foam. And what this does is it helps to apply an even layer of wax to the surface of your vehicle with a dual action polisher. So it just makes doing the hand application a little bit easier and a little bit quicker by using that polisher. You can apply a super even layer across everything. It's not going to mar the paint at all. It's super soft just for applying waxes, has no cut to it whatsoever. So this is your absolute final stage for adding protection to it if you use a wax or a sealant. Or if you want the best protection possible, you go with that ceramic coating. So once you've done the cutting, polishing, and ultra finishing stages, you can go right into your ceramic coating, use your ceramic coating of choice. Here at Decon Detailing, we like to use G-Technics Crystal Serum Light. This is their, good focus. There we go. So this is their 3 to 5 year coating. This is the base layer. So this is a 3 to 5 year coating of ceramic. And then we top it with their XOV4, which is their top coat. So this is a super hydrophobic top coat that goes on top of the Crystal Serum Light. And what this does is it provides 12 to 24 months of protection, gives you insane hydrophobic abilities, and keeps your paint protected for an additional up to 2 years. So combined, you can get 5 to 7 years if you keep good care of your paint. All right guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you learned a little bit about the different types of polishing pads and compounding pads that we have in the detailing world. If you have any questions or if you like the video, make sure you drop a comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If there's anything that you would like addressed in the next video, leave a comment below so I can make some videos that answers your questions. Thanks again for stopping by, and have a great day.